right, thanks for staying with us right here on Sunrise as we continue this morning. Now, South Africa is one of the world's main producers and exporters of precious metals. It was the world's sixth largest producer of gold with 5.9 million ounces in 2014, the largest producer of platinum with 3.5 million ounces, and the fifth largest producer of diamonds with 7.6 million carats. South African imports most of the precious metals that are being extracted in the mines. Now, today in studio, we're joined by Mr. Pneuma, who is the CEO of Pneuma Academy of Excellence, and Bhekubaba Tembe, who is a qualified goldsmith, to discuss this with us. Good morning to you, Mr. Pneuma, and thanks very much for joining us right here on Sunrise. Well, congratulations on the great work that you do at the Academy. You work with disabled young people. Just tell us about what inspired this initiative.
Well, we started training about 17 years ago. We've trained about 120 goldsmiths, some of which are diamond setters. We then also embarked on training deaf people. Luckily, we have a very strong training program, a dynamic program that has also succeeded with the deaf. So that means that now deaf is not a disability. It's the power of training that is required. Yeah.
All right, so let's also welcome Bhekubaba. Good morning to you, Bhekubaba, and thanks for joining us. What is it that...
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
What is it that interested you into going into jewelry making?
Because I'm very passionate about any skills that I have. Because now when I see jewelry, I'm very interested in it to see what my own hands can do with it. And now if I see that I've created a very beautiful necklace, earrings, and then from there I learn also from other people that have been there, and then I look at what they're doing, and then I feel that I also want to be part of that and do as well with other hearing students that are there. So that's why I was very interested in that.
So in terms of, like, you know, within the academy, getting unqualified young people and especially deaf people and teaching them about, you know, making jewelry, the processes that they had to go through to be able to actually make pieces like the ones that we have in front of us, what does it take?
Well, there's two routes to take. The one is artisan learnership, which is basically like a fully tracked apprenticeship. The other method is to go to University of Technology first, do a 3-year diploma, and then join us to do a highly intensive internship.
So, I mean, when a young person like Bhekubaba comes to you, and specifically him, what is it that he, you know, was put into him to be able to do the things that he does?
There are 14 fundamentals in manufacturing jewelry properly, the 14 stages of producing a piece. The intensity of training and the standard of quality required of each of those stages will produce the quality you're looking for.
All right, so Bhekubaba, in terms of you, I mean, what are the challenges that you'd say you would face in training, you know, to being a jewelry maker?
My first time when I went into the industry, I felt like, whoa, you know, it's very difficult. This doesn't look so easy to do, because now you remember that you are using very expensive materials there. And then now I was the first deaf people that were there in the academy. So, and then we had to learn on how to work with that, on how to not waste gold, diamonds, and the silver that we are working with. And then from there on I learn, and then I try to put on myself so that I can learn. And once I've done and I've learned it, I feel very good about myself. But it's not easy, because being a goldsmith requires you to be accurate on everything, so that is very challenging. And now that I have to go in setting, which means that I will be working a lot with diamonds, and you know how expensive it is, and if they break, you've lost a lot of money. So the accuracy in it, making sure that you get everything correct, puts me under pressure each and every time. And most of the time I work with Michael, he lets me know on how to do, and then I look at what he does, and then I come back and then I try and set it on myself. And then sometimes the product doesn't go according to your plan, so you have to go back and restart again. And then when I make mistakes, I go back and fix it according to the piece, how it's required to be. And then is very patient and understanding of that. I'm very grateful of.
So Ms. Pneuma, it's also a non-profit organization that you guys run as an academy. The inspiration behind it and some of the challenges, obviously, that we're facing as a country with youth unemployment. How do you match the two?
Well, we've been training as a privately owned company, and from 2005, and in 2017, the number of students we have is growing too large for us to be able to fully fund on our own. Fortunately, the Mining Qualifications Authority have a lot of trust in the training that we deliver. We have a 90% success rate of training people into employment, and 90% of them were historically disadvantaged. In 2017, we made the Academy of Excellence in order to be able to attract the funding to develop a whole new hub towards mass production specialized training in order to replace 80% of the jewelry that's being imported with locally manufactured goods by local mass production houses.
So in terms of there's an opportunity obviously in the market in terms of and a need to create these produce sort of pieces. What do you think it's going to take to get South Africans to buy into that?
Well, we were of the finest in the world, and a lot of the imports have taken over through price rather than through quality. Our finest is the finest, and we are now, our rand-dollar exchange rate is favorable towards local manufacture, and it is over 2 billion rand a year industry, which will be a very empowering financially for our industry.
I like when you say our finest is the finest.
It is.
That's a quality stamp on its own.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Bhekubaba, you've qualified now as a goldsmith. What is your future plans?
Now, when I'm done with everything, now because I'm busy trying to become a setter, I want to also, once I've got to get a job, and then from there, use that money to train other deaf people as well. And then from there on, I can be able to transfer the skills that I have. And then also, I want to become a teacher and teach the deaf student as well, so that I can see my community also developing, so that I can empower them as well to become independent, and then how also to have that skills of being able to make your own jewelry.
So, I mean, as a teacher yourself, I guess, and some of the people that you have work with you, it really must take a lot of passion and patience to work with deaf young people. It must be also very fulfilling for you as a business person.
Actually not. Myself and a master goldsmith and diamond setter, Mr. Dieter Dorr, developed this program through the years. The deaf people are not more difficult to train than people who can hear. The only difference is having to communicate on paper and to show them visually how to produce.
Which is already which is already what your work entails. For somebody who's watching and say, these are great pieces, I'd like to have access to them. I mean, how accessible are some of these pieces directly to the market?
We manufacture for the public, and we are producing a massive collection of hand skills towards a local and export market. The fulfilling of the training requirement will put South Africa on the map, and we believe it will take approximately 5 to 7 years to reach that point.
Okay. Lastly, to Bhekubaba, your message, to the deaf community about using their skills and accessing opportunities.
I would like to inform them to say, as deaf people, we are able to make it, and don't feel that your disability is a barrier. Because I'm also, when I grew up as a deaf person, I didn't know, because a lot of people were hearing. So, but being exposed and seeing other things and seeing what other hearing people are doing, and also thinking that I, as a deaf person, I can learn as well. I can achieve all the goals that I want. So my message to them is that your eyes and your hands, they will help you along the way. So get any skills that is necessary. Learn as much as you can. You can become anything. And deaf people as well, all the companies, they must also try and involve deaf people into their training and not see that disability as a barrier.
Well, great stuff, guys. Thanks very much for chatting to us right here on Sunrise this morning.
Thank you as well. Thank you for having us.
We've been speaking to Michael Pneuma, who's the CEO of Pneuma Academy of Excellence, and Bhekubaba Tembe, of course, who is a goldsmith maker. If you are interested in the program, and also be